Hello, welcome back to Toby's Freedom. It's the Sunday, 11th of August, and I'm gonna talk about some hoaxes, psyops, false flags, stage events in Denmark in the national news, and these stories are so weak, so poor, that you can't even see if there are any evidence or proof to back it up with. It's so bad. It's so bad. And I know to translate the articles. Let's see here. Websites. Let's see here. There's been a new so-called accident on the Roskilde Festival. Just like the one in 2000, there were people trampled in the mud at the Pearl Jam concert the 29th or 30th of June 2000. But this is a new one. And it's funny, I've done research on many articles in 2024, and now they don't use their real names. And do you know why? Because they don't want to have people getting access to their documents or even autopsies, so they don't give the name up anymore. It says a 52-year-old. It's a theory. I don't know if it's true. I'm guessing. And it's wrote by the Danish tabloid magazine Ekstra Bladet. The man who lost his life last week was hit by a tractor of a pile of rubbish at the Dyrskuepladsen in Roskilde, and Roskilde is a town in Denmark. I don't know about the population, we can look at that if you want. Was a part of Roskilde Festival's cleanup effort. This is confirmed by the Central West Zealand Police to Ekstra Bladet. They state that the 52-year-old homeless man was involved in the cleanup work as a part of association by Gaderum's voluntary cleanup effort, which they carry out in collaboration with Roskilde Festival. This was also confirmed by Kalle Brink Madsen, who was retired psychologist and volunteer at Gaderum, where, among other things, is responsible for the association's cleanup efforts after the Roskilde Festival. It was someone who was with us. He came on Sunday and wanted to volunteer. He says, I was actually out on the same field before the accident happened. I drove around to see if he had made all the way. I didn't see him, he says. He had been given a wristband when he came in Sunday, otherwise you can't get in. They fought to the end where the accident occurred at the 52-year-old was hit by a tractor. Charlotte Thornquist from Mid and Vigilance Police Communications Department has briefly said that he worked for a long time to save the life of the Crease. When the patrol arrives, he is breathing and first aid administered. There were patrols ready to escort him to the hospital, but he was unable to save him, and he was declared dead. So also he states the man was declared dead by the doctor at 6:39, 42 minutes after the police received the report of the accident. Kalle Brink Madsen from Gaderummet caused a tragic incident, an accident you cannot protect yourself from. I think it's really unfortunate. The group works voluntarily, but the return is allowed to collect food, tents, and like the abandoned campsite. When we came up as a group, we started gathering the fields for our camp on Sunday. On Monday, we started working. This means we started removing all the rubbish that there is. We do that from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. If you're homeless, then you're typical also unemployed and you have to get started. We try to get people started. And, excuse me, I have to shut down my telephone. It's noisy. So here you go. You can see one of the pictures from the accident scene. I mean, what the hell does this look like? And I know people who are not awake or not skeptical or critical who go along with the terms in mainstream news and alternative mainstream news doesn't believe what I say and blah 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 blah. But you know, we don't want to see bodies. That's so bizarre and weird and blah blah blah. But the thing is, when you don't show bodies, you can't prove anything. So what the hell is this? What the hell is this? Look at this picture. They're doing nothing. Can we see any bodies here? No. And actually, he died at the hospital. So if he got injured and he died at the hospital or already driven to the hospital, why is there no paramedics here? There's only police. There's no paramedics here. We're not allowed to show the paramedics. Blah, 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 blah. According to the Roskilde Festival, around 300 volunteers are helping to clean up after the festival this year, where thousands of young people and young-minded partying wildly for 8 days. And you know, there's another accident I remember because my brain, I have an autism brain or Asperger's, what the hell you can call it. I remember lots of things. And I remember there's another case that looks like this case, but it didn't happen in Denmark. It happened at the Woodstock Festival in 1969, and this guy or dude, he was only 17, and he was cleaning rubbish up. And the thing is, you can disagree with the numbers. I have to show you in gematria or numerology the numbers, but you can't make this bullshit up. The accidents are very similar to each other. I mean, people would ask, why are they staging an event like this? Well, maybe it's the purpose of getting more restrictions at the Roskilde festivals and other festivals like the festival back in 2000 and insurance fraud for the families. I don't know if this homeless guy had family. I don't know. It doesn't say it, but all these so-called accidents is insurance fraud. For sure. The families are filing for insurance. So now they don't actually interview the witnesses, the families or friends and so on. They're going back, the media. They're going back. They don't want to be exposed because this is a lie. And I have wrote to Gaderummet on Facebook and asked about this accident. I have wrote to Roskilde Festival and asked them about this accident. Do you know what my answer was? They ignored it. They didn't write back. They didn't give a shit. They don't give about. They don't give a damn about the truth. If this guy, and where is this guy? The guy who rode the tractor. Maybe there's some other pictures. But why has he not been convicted for manslaughter? And that's the most crazy, sick joke in it. Why is he not being arrested for manslaughter? No. He is not convicted. It was an accident. Just like there was, I made a video in Danish. That's very similar to this accident, but that's a Danish musician from the Danish band that doesn't exist anymore. They called Sabia. Look it up. They have some good songs. They have a song called I Surrender. I made a location video up in my. It happened nearby where I live, up in Valby, central town, at Toftegårds Plads, Vigerslev Plads. I made a video in Danish. Maybe you can put some subtitles on it, and then you can understand it. But the thing is, his ex-girlfriend was killed by a truck in a right-wing swing, a curve with a bicycle. She was hit by a truck on a bicycle on a right-wing curve swing, if you call it like that. And there's no proof or evidence to back it up with, just like here. It's a sales trick. That was a sales trick for selling more albums. This is for getting more rules. Many of the lies are the same patterns over and over and over again. Actually. And on their website, the festival also prides in self-copulation with Gaderummet, which gathers and organizes young camps for a number of homeless people who can come and take part in the cleanup. Gaderummet sets up in camp in the camping area, and after the festival add others to homeless to live there until the site is completely cleared, writes Roskilde Festival on their website. However, Roskilde Festival does not do much to ensure the conditions of the homeless who participate in Gaderummet's cleanup effects. This is totally bullshit. I don't believe this. I'm not open to this. On Gaderummet's Facebook page, it appears that the homeless Svenagers have to live off what they can find. Remember your toothbrush and other things, but otherwise we hope to find everything we need to live on. Live and sleep a long way, reads an information notice on the page. And we all know that the police are very strict in general to the homeless people. I don't know if they're so strict in Copenhagen or Denmark per se, but in the States, many homeless, or UK, will be arrested if they sleep in public. And many of them are actually drunk and stoned and they're causing a lot of trouble. Actually, there's a lot of them in Los Angeles. I saw a video about it. They are very noisy, and I don't know about this guy. I'm gonna say supposedly he died. I mean, come on. There's no proof or evidence to back it up with. Should there be problems with heat or goods? Finds out tinner food there's still advised to had. Explains Kalle Brink Madsen. Birink. The association receives an amount which he spent on the food and necessaries for the people who were there. To earn everything at all, we just have to able to run around. Ekstrabladet has supposedly tried to get in vein with Signe Lopdrup, director of Roskilde Festival, about the festival's use of homeless people in its cleanup work. Only with the police could confirm to the Ekstrabladet that the crease was part of the festival's cleanup efforts. Who the festival management respond in writing to the question whether the security is under control. You can see control the masses, control them with a terror attack with planes in the building, control them with a virus in Wuhan, China. Control them with a firework accident, or control them with race, like in the UK with Leeds and Southport, and control them with George Floyd lies, also a race, and Holocaust with religion, and control them, control, and Oklahoma bombing, white supremacists, and so on. I can go on and on and on and find agenda. Only when the police could confirm to the Ekstrabladet that the decrease was part of the festival's cleanup. To the question of whether the security is under control, Roskilde Festival's deputy director Christina Bilde replies in an email, "You don't drive with the machine power in areas where people work. We are awaiting further information from the police in the labor inspectorate about how the tragic incident could happen, and cannot conclude whether there's anything that needs to be changed in the future." Christine Bilde also confirms in an email that is permit for the homeless volunteers to collect and keep the things they find. But the festival does not allow drinking or being under influence when completing your task. However, there's nothing in the email about how Roskilde Festival ensures that the rules are allowed after themselves have allowed to the homeless to keep a large amount of alcohol that is left behind. And the funny thing is, had we seen a tractor, maybe there's some other articles, but where's the tractor? And we all know, I don't know if tractor has a black box. I'm not sure about that. Maybe I should look it up. I know cars have a black box. I know planes have a black box. I know trains have a black box. It's just called something else. It's called a train recorder. Luxury cruise ships have a black box. It's called something else. Motorcycles have it. Trucks have it, taxis have it. So I believe we haven't seen one picture of this tractor at the crime scene. Where is the fucking tractor? I can't see it. No, there's no proof. No proof or evidence. And we haven't seen the black box for the tractor that concludes that the tractor has been used. Christine Bilde also confirms in her email that it's permit for the homeless volunteers to collect and keep their things they find. Did I read all this? And even though the 52-year-old victim of the accident was in the area, connection with the Roskilde Festival's Gaderummer's cleanup is important for the festival to mention that he wasn't in progress of cleaning up when he was run over of the tractor. We drew attention to the fact that no manual work has been carried out where the machines have been running, and the crews were not engaging in cleanup work in the time of the accident, writes Christina Bilde. What the 52-year-old then did in the area is therefore unclear. The deputy director continues is an email to defend why homeless people are used to clean up after the festival. Vulnerable and vulnerable people also need to be part and contributed to the community. It's an important task for us non-profit organization to support this, among other things, by giving the opportunity to volunteer. We are continually working to develop possibilities for this because we find it makes a huge difference. According to Roskilde Festival, it's still early to answer whether they will collaborate with Gaderummer next year. However, there's to be a change in which tax exposes and vulnerable people can perform in a cleanup. We will have wait the authorities' investigations. We have always been happy to collaborate with Gaderummer. Our starting point is that they do a good job, also makes a big difference to the people who are involved, and it's earlier to say whether we need to adjust the cooperation. So there you go. And he was Polish, actually. Here it is. Here's the tractor. Let's see if we can before we go to look on the Woodstock hoax psyop bullshit. It will not transfer. But it doesn't prove anything. You can hear the police, or is it the firefighters, or the paramedics? They're very noisy, or is it the doctors? I don't know. Sirens in the background. The person hit at the Roskilde Festival was Polish and homeless. Late night, a person was hit in a connection with the cleanup at the tent site at Roskilde Festival. The person turns out to be a 15-year-old Pole who was homeless. He was near a pile of rubbish and abandoned tents when the tractor hit him. Central and West Zealand police informed Ritzau. I think or believe or assume that Ritzau is Jewish. I don't know. Maybe. The man was subsequently pronounced dead. An autopsy must clarify exact cause of death, and a car inspector must also examine the scene of the accident. The police state that the driver of the tractor is a 64-year-old man from Roskilde. He was deeply affected after the accident, but he was questioned. According to the police, he had not seen the man before the collision. You can hear the bullshit. Why is these people never convicted? We also have a train accident in 2019 where eight people died, and the train conductors were never convicted of manslaughter either. And also this accident with this musician's girlfriend. No, the guy who drove the truck was never convicted either. You can see the same patterns over and over and over and over again. It's the same narrative, the same patterns, the same lies. Come on, use your fucking brain. Use your common sense. Let's see here. Woodstock Festival 69. Boy killed by tractor. 17-year-old Raymond Messisa Miwa died after tractor pulling a wagon ran over him while he was sleeping under hay. Police called a helicopter to airlift him to hospital, but he died before he arrived. Can we hear the bullshit? Can we hear the bullshit? Let's see here. 17-year-old Ramus. Maybe I should make a new video where I go in the numbers and details. Maybe that's easier because people are not so good in Denmark to get lays and lays and lays of lies. They are reacting. They are ignoring the truth. So maybe we should make another video where I go in the numbers, just like Gematrinator. Derek from Michigan does that. He only talks about the numbers. He doesn't even doesn't really go into discussion what happened. It's rarely that he does that. But we all know the Woodstock Festival was a big lie also. The mud was made by the government. I mean, weather warfare. And the scene was not even there. It was another place. It was not in Woodstock. It was in Bethel. And it was a movie set. It was a CIA operation for experimenting for hard drugs and all these demonstrations for Vietnam War and all these controlled opposition riots. There's some lies and there's some organic. You can't fake a whole festival. So and you can clearly see the documentary where people are leaving after Jimi Hendrix concert. They weren't even filmed at the time, you know. It was a different scene. So it's very similar to that. Raymond, Miss Sada, Sasa, Miss Sasa. Very similar. And let's see here. We can see how many years. I'm not so good at math. I suck at math. "55 years between the so-called supposedly accidents." I think this 52-year-old guy and this 17-year-old guy died in another way, supposedly. Or maybe they live in a new name, a new identity. Who knows? But we have to talk about another lie. There was a new firework accident in Korsør. I know maybe many of you don't know the vocal. Is it vocal? Or is it we have a letter Ø. You know Ø? With a circle and a what the hell, a line? I don't know what you call this, but we have that in Danish. So it's not easy to say Korsør. Korsør. Koser. And it's down by Slagelse. Very pretty town. They used to have a ferry. Now we have a bridge. Southwest Zealand. And there was a firework and this guy's this guy's also a 52 years old, and there's no name on him. He is anonymous, like the 52 from the Roskilde accident. No name. And it's crazy that people not being more critical or skeptical with the news, because who has 750 kiloton of explosions in his summer residence in Korsør? I mean, this guy is a planted person. Who has access to this? It just means like it's an inside job. You know? Up to a ton of explosions have been found after accident in Korsør. Such are the rules for storing gunpowder. And the crazy thing is, they only evacuated 140 people. And there's no evidence or proof to back it up with otherwise. And he also died, this 52-year-old person. Between 750 kilos and 1 ton explosions were found at the address at a summer house area near Korsør, where a 52-year-old man was killed in an explosion on Monday. Just like the supposedly ceased accident in 2004 with the 33-year-old fighter Max Jørgensen and the Store Ernst, the 8th of October 2011, where 2 civilian citizens died supposedly, with the 40-year-old Alan Schultz and the 44-year-old Hanne Foss. And there's no proof to back it up with. I believe if this is true, I don't think it's true, because there's interview with the witnesses and they're not being scared. They're not afraid of nothing. Doesn't sound like something happened, and yeah. This is for scaring people. Also, it's a sales trick for the politician, and actually, it wouldn't mind that we got more rules for private fireworks, because fireworks is dangerous, you know? It's dangerous for our hands and our eyes. It's not good. And there's no evidence. There's no what's it called? I have to look that up. I have to translate that. Seismographs. You use these on the Richter scale for nature disasters and mostly and rarely with explosions and weather catastrophes, earthquakes and you know, nature disasters. Seismographs are instruments used to record the motion of the ground during a earthquake. They were installed ground throughout the world, operated as a part of seismograph network. Seismoscope was invented by the Chinese philosopher Chang Heng AD. Because there was a seismograph at the Seas disaster in 2004, and that was 2.2 on the Richter scale. And there was nothing here. According to the chemist and safety manager of the Department of Chemistry of Aarhus University, Peter Hall, these are the amounts you shouldn't ask for. If someone is in possession of such large quantities of explosion, it will hardly be legal, reads his assessment. Vestjylland's police have so far not disclosed what type of explosion substance have been found at the address. but there are clear rules how much a private person can keep at home. At the police discovery explosion substance at Frølund fat risk being up 200 times higher improved limit, Peter Hall believes. The 52-year-old deceased man had a history of fireworks, and it's unknown why he was apparently living inside with such a large amount of explosions. You may store up to 5 kilos of legal gunpowder. All Danes may store New Year's fireworks and other pyrotechnic articles such as emergency flares with total explosive quantity of 5 kilograms without permit. You must have a big reason if you have to comply with the rules about distance. Michael Gram Larsen, fireworks for 40 years. The limit of 5 kilos in practice is not permitted to store fireworks and other pyrotechnics that contain an amount of explosion substance that exceeds 5 kilos. And here have we the rules for storation of fireworks, and that's one of my main topics. It's one of my most talk cases, because if in the States you have the gun control with the guns, we don't have. They have talked a little bit about it, but it's not happening, so they're not going to take our guns from us yet. But we have the fireworks and the hash pot legalization, and this is one of the big guns and agendas. Actually, I'm going the other way. Actually, I believe we need more rules for safety. So, because it's dangerous. Borger.dk has collected a number of recommendations and advice for how a private person store unused gunpowder. Keep the fireworks out of reach of children. Store the fireworks in a dark and dry place. Keep the fireworks away from electric appliances and heat sources such as heaters. If you do not want to save unused fireworks for next year, they must be handled in a multiply recycle site at hazardous waste. You may only set fireworks off in the period 27th of December to 1st of January, exclusive. The rest of the year it is legal to use fireworks for private individuals. And there have we the problem again. Nobody gives a shit about these rules. No one does. No one. Only the CE market fireworks can legally be sold in Denmark. The CE market shows the manufacturer has had fireworks tested and approved. If your fireworks are not CE market, they are legal and can be dangerous. It is legal to sell professional fireworks to private individuals. It is legal to sell fireworks to people under the age of 18, and that's really stupid also. Several fireworks retailers sell large batteries with NEM of those 2 kilos, so if you have more than few them stored in the basement or shed, it might be good to idea if check if it's against the law. Single rockets, however, have certified lower content of explosion substance, which usually contain less of 100 grams of NEM. Legal fireworks such as cannons are always prohibited, regardless of the quality, because they are neither approved or nor tested or can result in larger explosions, explains Peter Hall. You must have a good reason in order to store large quantities of explosion substance, as police found on Tuesday. In the summer house area, Korsør, it requires a permit from the municipality. In addition, there are a number of inquiries for a place where the gunpowder is stored, and there must be safety to distance to surrounding buildings. According to former fireworks for 40 years, Michael Graham Larson, it can be difficult to get the necessary permission to store fireworks above the normal limit and densely built up area. You must have a good reason if you comply with the rules on the distance, says Michael Graham Larson. However, it's important to keep in mind the type of gunpowder in question. Peter Hall points out there's a difference in how dangerous the different types of gunpowder are, because ordinary legal fireworks pose a much smaller risk than concentrated gunpowder. The legal fireworks are made such way that the overall explosion does not occur. It bangs and it bangs and it's a fire hazard, and it doesn't explode. If so, on the other hand, the gunpowder is collected and is legal cannon shots. No more than 2 kilograms of gunpowder is needed before it can be fatal, he says. If part of what the police have found in the mixed gunpowder is that explosive, it may have posed a real risk of larger explosion. If, on the other hand, unmixed chemicals that will be posed on a signified risk is in the pure form, says Peter Hall. The police is playing it safe. They don't know where it's been up to end, and that's why it's called an expert to find exactly out what's going on, he says. And this really proved nothing. They can just say there's been an explosion, blah, 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 and this, and happened. They don't have to do the real thing anymore. They don't have to. Because people go along with it. They don't care. They don't give a shit. If we can find an interview with some witnesses. This is from Reddit. These psyops are so weak, and that's why they're playing with our feelings and our frequencies, because when these lies, psyops, hoaxes, false flags, call them what you want, when they're so weak, people don't want to debate it. When, like, it's over, let's say if 2,000 people died in this explosion, then there'll be much more interest from the masses. But when it's only one person or two person or three person, it doesn't really interest people. They don't give a shit. So if you go up in the 911 terms or Oklahoma terms or um or even the Israel war and the Ukraine war, those type of numbers, people would be interested. No. Or Utøya, or Oslo, or Copenhagen. Nah, people are not that interested in that. But the truck in Berlin, I can't remember how many supposedly died, and Nice also. When the number is larger, people are interested, and that's why they're doing these psyops, because people, they just go on with the flow, and they don't debate it, they don't interested in it. Oh, they just go on. Oh, that's tragic. That happened, and then they just dismiss it. That's a theory. I don't know if it's true. Maybe I'm guessing. You can see here who has so much fireworks stored in their own private home. Come on, come on. It's a military operation. You can see this guy, he's laughing. He's smiling. Does he have any trauma? Niels Christian Skollert. I think he spelled that. Is one of the citizens in Korsør that was suddenly evacuated on the night of Tuesday. It's a fucking crisis actor. Look at this lady. She's also smiling and laughing. It's amazing that people are not catching on to the media fakery. They just go along with the terms. Maiken was a neighbor to the explosion. I just feel lucky. According to both the industry associating an expert and the explosion could have more violent outcome. In the earlier version of article, Swedish Safety Agency was assured to use more force on legal fireworks. However, the board informs DR is the national TV station in Denmark, that it only has authority to otherwise stage and party fireworks at their professional address. Maiken Olsen walks around the garden and points a direction of the house where the 52-year-old man died after an explosion. Look at her. Does she look like a woman that's seen a guy dead? I mean, would you like to be interviewed when you saw people, or a guy or a woman die? No, I wouldn't. That would be horrible. She lives right next to where the explosion took place on Monday. Now she and her husband have been allowed to return to their house where cracks in the wall, broken glass, fallen lamps show how powerful an explosion there was. You can clearly see that it was printed, says Maiken Olsen, and points to the outdoor shed in the backyard. And this is a surveillance. Not that big, but also you can also fake surveillance. So, and it's weird that nobody's filmed under surveillance, right? It's all controlled. It's a controlled drill. So The shed is still standing, but all the wall panels have been due to the air pressure from the explosion. All the sides were completely open and pulled out, and it stands almost out like a flash arc. The family's new henhouse was heavily involved. No one apart from the deceased 52-year-old man at the crime scene was injured. However, Mike and Olsen lost a chicken in the explosion, which also caused extensive damage to the newly built chicken house. It got off cheap, I would say. Here, Mike and Olsen shows the damage to the family's hen house.
Og hønsehuset, der har vi faktisk lige sat en kil i hønsehuset nu, for ellers så døren den er stået åben og klapret sådan. Og vi har sat nogle pinde indvendigt i hønsehuset, fordi der var hul i soklen.
Look at her! Look at her!
De har jo bare rent.
Sorry, I can't translate what she's saying. I don't know how to put subtitles on. Sorry.
Rundt, og vi har mistet en enkelt kylling, så det
er
sluppet, vil jeg sige.
She's not afraid, no trauma, she's smiling, she's laughing, she's in good humor. Look at her. Look at her face.
Så kan vi starte forfra.
I don't know if it's that interesting for people who don't live in Denmark, but fireworks is one of the major big agendas in Denmark, and the government or the media is abusing it. Really dangerous chemicals were mixed. I don't know. I don't know if that's interesting. Doesn't really prove anything. I can read this. This is not really important, but we already know it's dangerous. But it shouldn't be possible for the chemicals to even be in a backyard in a summer house area, says Peter Hall. If you're going to make fireworks at home, you must, of course, have permits in order, so you must have approved both place you do it and the things you do. If you had it out in a cottage neighborhood to do that, you probably don't have two permits in order. And you can't formally buy these drugs either. Gunnar B. Knudsen is deputy chairman of the Fireworks Association, and he was really sad that the fireworks appeared to be in the cause of the explosion at Korsør. He's quite serious because their quantities are completely monstrous and acceptable. It should never be in the position of ordinary private people, and certainly not in these quantities, and cannot retain from it enough. According to him, legal fireworks put the industry as a whole in a bad light. Once again, we have to say to politicians, they simply have to put more effort into legal fireworks. It's the illegal fireworks that have time again created problems for the industry, but also caused damage out there, and unfortunately seeing here a death. That's what I'm saying. I have to repeat myself. When it's Christmas time, it's even in the autumn, it starts in October and it ends in January. Then we debate it and talk about it in October, November, December, and January, 4 months, and then we dismiss it. And then the politicians forget it, and the Danes forget it, and they don't give a shit. They only talk about it in the 4 months, rambling on and on and on, that we have to have more rules for fireworks, and we have to make it illegal, not to have it legal, but illegal, so you will get fine or tickets for having it. And nothing will happen. They still have the same rules. You can buy fireworks from the 27th of December to 1st of January. Before it was, I think it was the 1st of December to the 5th of January, and they changed it after the Seest and Ants disaster, and nothing really happened. It's crazy that people don't give a shit about it, because private fireworks is not good for our nature. It's messy, it's dirty, and people do clean up from themselves. They think janitors or orderlies will clean it up for them at New Year's Eve or New Year's morning, and animals doesn't like it. They get scared. They need to take drugs on New Year's, the 31st and the 1st of January, because they get afraid. And it's not good it's dangerous for our eyes and hands. I mean, it's more important, actually, the fireworks agenda and the weed and the pot agendas is more important than and the so-called virus in China, Wuhan, back in the day, and it's crazy that people go much more into that in these rules. It's funny that there's never been a demonstration for illegal fireworks. It's very odd and strange. People are so fucking lazy. And it's also more important that security rules in the airports and security on the festivals. It's much important. And people don't give a shit. Oh man, women, people are so stubborn and lazy in Denmark. I don't know, maybe people always will be against the system. Maybe people always, it doesn't matter if they change it or not change it or update the rules, I don't know. But the funny thing is, when you call the police and says there's troubles with fireworks in a nearly neighborhood, the police will never come. They don't give a shit about it anyway. So, and that's why we need a special task force for the police who can take down these private firework people. But I think this guy is connected, and the funny thing is, there's no name on him. There's anonymous, so we don't know who he is. There's no face on him. There's no surveillance on him. There's no paramedics or caretaker. It's all bullshit. It's all made up propaganda. So well, I have to go to the loo or the toilet. I'll be back in a jiffy. I'm back. So we have one more psyop. One more government hoax, lie, staged, organized, orchestrated lie, and there's still anonymous name, no names on these people. So it doesn't really prove anything. So, there was a car accident, and I've said many times that car accidents are really organic, and it can happen. Yes, people die in car accidents all the time. I don't know the numbers on that, but this article from the media doesn't prove anything, so I believe it's psyop. Is it this one? It's in Bellahøj. Is it north of Copenhagen? I think. We have to translate it. Two women and 4 men were in the car. Look at this. It's totally crushed. I mean, do they want us to have the 15-minute city cover up? I think it's that. Just like the supposedly killing of the police officer on Langebro. I have to do a location video on that. It's a case that interests me a lot. The 35-year-old police officer Magnus Bull, who died on Langebro Bridge in 2019, the year before COVID-19 scandal. The same year as DSB train disaster accident, the 2nd of January 2019. Magnus Bull police officer killing supposedly was in July the 23rd. But anyway, there's more and more of this 15-minute city cover-up stories, because the more accidents we have with cars, the more we want to not have cars in this world, you know? So they're secretly, the leftists, they want this 15-minute city all over the world. I think they already discussed it in 2008 in Brazil at was it the climate conference? Did they have one was it in Buenos Aires or was it in Brazil? I can't remember, I have to look it up. But anyway, they want this. There's so many conspiracies that says it. 2 are very critical condition after an accident in tunnel on Saturday. The condition is very critical for the 2 injured in the car that drove the wrong way in the tunnel on Saturday. Why did they do that? Who does that? If you do that, are you on high drugs? And it doesn't even say that. Come on. Can you hear the stupidness? Sorry, stupidness. This is what the Central Duty Manager Henrik Svejstrup of the Copenhagen Police told Ekstra Bladet Sunday morning. The condition of the other 3 is described as critical. The police state there were 2 women and 4 men in the car when it drove in the wrong way in the tunnel in Frederikssundsvej on Bellahøj in Copenhagen early on Saturday morning. There were 6 people in the car, which is approved for 5. The car was a rental car from Green Mobility on Saturday. 5 out of 6 were assessed to be in critical condition. The car was driving into the tunnel of direction of the city when the accident happened. There was a road in the work of the part of the tunnel other side, but 2 temporary narrow tracks had been established for the inbound traffic. The white car crashed some distance inside the tunnel and ended up in the area where the road worked. Ekstra Bladet's man at the scene Saturday could uncertain. Police are still investigating the accident, which was a solo accident. Green Mobility CEO Kasper Gersted stated on Saturday that in general Green Mobility makes use of several different measures to prevent criminal behavior in the cars, among other things. The tenants were motional digitally. In this way, whether motorists break the traffic law, all green mobility cars were equipped with sensitive sensors which monitor the driving behavior and every trip. If we find the consumer significantly exceeds the speed limit to behave increasingly in traffic, we immediately block the consumer, he said. And I think one of them died. Let's find that article, but this could be an assurance scam. Maybe this car should go, it's already finished, done, up to disposal. So they use them in that sense, Could be. Let's see here. 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 After the tunnel accident, one person has died. Okay, where's the article, please? It's weird. Maybe can't translate. Person dead after accident in Frederiksson Way Tunnel. 6 people were involved in an accident in the tunnel, Copenhagen, the 13th of July. One of them has passed away. Actually, the same day that Donald Trump's assassination happened in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania. Same day. One person died after the accident in the Frederiksson Way Tunnel in Copenhagen on Saturday, the 13th of July, where 6 people crashed in a car. This is confirmed by the Copenhagen police to Ekstrabladet and Ritzau. The persons were in a Renault Zoe rental company Green Mobility. The police received the report early in the morning, 05:24. After the accident, 5 of the 6 people described as being critical condition, and the next day it was reported that 2 of them were in extremely critical condition. The police informed Ritzau Tuesday morning that it cannot provide more information at this time. Therefore, no information of the age of deceased or on the condition in other persons. However, it has previously emerged that 6 people in their 20s. After the accident, a car inspector was called to the scene of the accident to investigate the circumstances. The police immediately provide further details about the cause of the accident. And here we go again. There's no black box. There's no eyewitnesses. There's no paramedics. There's no caretaker. Oh yeah. If they died they died when they came to the hospital. So paramedics, there's no eyewitnesses, there's no paramedics, there's no nothing. There's no surveillance. It's all bullshit. It's all made up lies. So. Let's look. 15 mini city. Mini city are designed intended to reduce the use of vehicles, as all amenities and destinations reasons need will accessible with a short distance. This offers a wide range of benefits, from reduced traffic connection to the decreased CO2 emissions and encouragement of a greater physical activity. So, and I don't believe in climate change, and I don't believe in global warming. So they're using. I think there's less people who believe in that nowadays. But anyhow, I'm not sure about that. But they're doing all these cases like this in the Frederikssundsvej's tunnel to and Magnus Bull case also, and Carsten Nielsen's traffic accident 1988 probably, and so on and so on and so on. There are two very different views of the 15th city idea. To some, its urban planning concept promotes substantial and healthy living. To the small group of others, it's a plot of tyrannical bureaucrats to take over our cars and control our lives, which lead to real Hunger Games scenario. After outlandish claims about lizard people, you can see this as a controlled opposition gatekeeping article. Lizard people, 5G, and the COVID vaccines, the conspiracy theorists are now targeting the world of urban planning, with protest against the 15th city concept springing up around the globe. Tudorian, who was lobbying for the idea internationally, including in Australia, sums up it's a bit surreal. What is it? The 15-minute city is an urban planning concept which neighborhoods provide residents with the basic things that they need: shops, schools, parks, leisure options, healthcare, within 15 minutes radius by foot or bike. We used to have 15-minute cities in the norm. Now they're called good neighborhoods, where they didn't have to go into a car for everything. Tudorian says from the mid last century, cities have largely been planning around cars at the expense of walking and biking, which has often resulted in car depaceting and urban sprawl. The 15-minute city is present as one possible remedy for this. There are so many public interest reasons to want to do this. It's a kind of no-brainer. Tudorian says your carbon footprint is a lower one. Your carbon footprint is a lot lower, and it's powerful climate change migration tool. It promotes urban health and promotes actually reduce the public of health costs. It promotes eventually and affordably household affordably, because you need to own the second car or maybe even a third car. Many cities have taken up the idea of variation of idea in recent years. Melbourne was one of the world's organizers of the year, applying time to our neighborhoods in the amount of time it takes us to get to the thing that we want every day. The Sudarian points out something city continues to embrace. The idea has been called in many things like complete communities, mixed-use communities, the city of short distance, slightly different 20-minute neighborhood, as Sudarian, as chief planning of Vancouver, used to call it the power of nearness. But the 50th century really came to global performance when Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo made it a part of the 2020 re-election campaign. For her pedestrian and cycle certain design was the future she was re-elected. Cities around the world, mayors, politicians start talking about it was a very old, normal concept of why we do drive to everything. Why can't we have more choices and more freedom to choose rather than just having only one choice? The car, Sudarian says. And I don't have a car, so I don't know anything about cars. But I don't know if I have to read it all of it, but you got the idea about it. Yeah, they want us to use our bike, they want us to walk. So you get the idea. There's one more lie, psyop, hoax I want to speak about, but that's 3 months ago. There was this car almost drove into a region hospital here in Copenhagen. And the thing is, the pictures or the live footage or what the fuck it is looks so fake. So you can decide. I think it's fake. Let's see here. It's in May. It really doesn't prove anything. I mean, why was the hospital not evacuated if it was so dangerous? It looks like a drill. There's another one with a car trying to drive in a supermarket. That is also a lie, I assume or believe. This will be the next, second last. Drama in front of the kingdom. Police arrest man. The police have arrested a man who came driving at high speed into the RIS hospital area. There's a drama right now in the front of the RIS hospital where police were massively presented after shooting in Nørrebro, Copenhagen, where 2 people have been hit. This shown a video that Ekstrablad's photographer filmed the spot. A white Cupra Formentor car is stopped behind the police corridor in the entrance to the Riz Hospital, and suddenly a blue-black car comes speeding into the area. The video shows several officers running towards the car and hipperating a man. The man points into the white Cupra and shouts, "He's the one that drives the car." Ekstrablad has been in contact with the Copenhagen police to explain what is down in the case, whether the arrested person has a relationship to the shooting in Nørrebro. Copenhagen Police call center has not been able to answer that they are gathering in threads in the case, he says. Earlier, 2 ambulances were driven from Nørrebro towards Rigshospitalet with a police escort. Video shows here. Read more about the shooting. So they are also trying to take our guns from us here in Denmark, even if we don't have the same rules in America. But they want it. So you can see this. I mean, come on. Come on. Look at it. In my 44 years of being a human, I've never seen anything like this in real life. Come on, this is all in a script. And they want us to let us know if you would know something about it, then you tip. And nobody has really seen anything, so... Really? Last one here. I have lived very close to this Netto. I think they have Netto in UK. Actually. This is the last article. Car driven into Netto shop. 1 person hit. A Netto employer heard a bang and saw 1 person trapped between the car and entrance to the store. But where is the person? Are you allowed to show anyone get hurt or injured? Or died? That's the question I'm asking the media. But this really doesn't prove anything. Where's all the evacuation of the store? Where's the surveillance? This is just a picture taken from a photographer. A car drove into a Netto store on Frederikssundsvej in Copenhagen on Monday afternoon. The Copenhagen police and the Central Emergency Service informed TV2 Cosmopol. According to the emergency service, at least 1 person was injured in the accident. It concerns 1 person who was standing in the front of the Netto store, says Frank Mikkelsen, on duty operations manager at Hovedstadens Beredskab. The car was been driven partly through the entrance to the shop. There is an injury. The person has been on the street the front of the store, tells TV2 Cosmopolo. The police have received several reports about the incident. Duty manager Dyre Sønnekesen tells TV2 Cosmopol. One of the reviews reads that the fight should have started and then one party drove after another, but it's still unknown to the police exactly what happened. TV2's Cosmopol reporter has spoken to Netto employer who has presented at the accident. I'm standing out to the checkout store and there I heard a bang, says Jonathan Hansen, who is the first assistant in the Netto store. He ran out and saw a person whose foot was stuck between the car and the entrance to the store. I see a person in the car running away, but I'm focused on him. I was stuck between a car and a door, says Jonathan Hansen to TV2 Cosmopole. And this proves nothing, really. Is it assurance fraud? Is it an insurance scam? Yeah. Is it donation scam? Who is the person who got hurt? No name? Anonymous? Still anonymous. All of these cases are anonymous people, and we don't really know if these people exist or live, or are they joking on us? Are they making more drama? You know, the media has to sell drama. It's money. They're making money, you know. So they have to make money to sell drama. That's their agenda, the media, you know. I think this is supposedly an accident. I don't know if it's real or not, but it doesn't prove anything, actually. So, no eyewitnesses, no surveillance, no injured people, no paramedics. Nothing, and nothing. And people will say, what is the purpose of this? Why would they drive a car up to Netto? To make us believe that something happened. Again, the 15-minute city. They want it. They want this. They want us to use a bike. They want us to be walking short distances. They don't want us to use our cars anymore for CO2 bullshit. Oh man. Wow. I haven't seen these pictures before, actually. This is the first time I've seen these pictures. You know, this could be a big insurance scam. They filed for insurance and they want donations for the people, the guy or the woman, I don't know if what doesn't say what gender it is, got hurt. It's a insurance scam and donation scam and charity scam and all of that. It's money. It's a money racket. So they just drive the car into the Netto so it looks like a accident, you know? I have to translate this. The car crashed into Netto and ended up the cash register. Aha! Isn't it funny that they haven't talked about if somebody drove into a car, wouldn't they go straight to the cash register and take the money? Maybe they don't have money. They should have money because it's in the opening hours, it's not in the closing hours. So they should have. I mean, if I was behind the cash register, I would run away immediately. So it's weird that nobody has taken the cash. I mean, we don't have cashless society yet. So why has the persons drove the car not taken advantage of it? It sounds so stupid. Really. I'm just suspicious on it. Very suspicious that nobody has taken the money. At noon yesterday, a Nissan crashed through the shop window and ended up in the middle of a checkout cuisine in Netto store middle of Odense. Sorry, I think this is another article. Oops. Excuse me. This is in Copenhagen and the other one is in Odense. Excuse me. I thought it was the same article. It's not the same one. But anyway, you have the same idea on it. You have the same idea. And it's truth what I said here. Nobody went for the cash register. This is also a lie. Oh shit. Anyway, I think I don't know if I want to go into the shooting part. No, not today. I'm not gonna talk about numerology or gematria either. I'm gonna stop now. So, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.